Well, this is what motorsport is kinda supposed to be, and is for the most part. And this is what happens when you let AI drive a racing car. Who in their right mind would want an AI to drive a race car? Well, I guess they're not in their right mind, because didn't they learn from the first time an AI tried to race a car or drive a car? That didn't go well at all. Well, F1 might have been on pause for 1 week, and well, that means that everyone watching got a slight little pause from hearing that Dutch national anthem. But not here, because you just heard it one more time. But no worries, F1 might be off for a week, but guess what isn't? AI racing. That's what we all wake up and that's what we want to see when we wake up in the morning, down on the TV. That's what's... Well, it was entertaining for a very much polar opposite reason to Formula 1. I'll just say that. Formula 1 is entertaining for the many highs and the very, very, very many lows of multiple drivers. Well, their races sometimes don't go to plan, or their drivers don't go to plan, and that's what makes it entertaining. Emotions, close battles, well, actually the car's driving on the track. Well, AI is really the polar opposite. In Formula 1, on occasions, you get fistfights, you get arguments, you get real drama, and the only drama that happens in AI racing, a couple nerds that write code beefing between each other on Reddit. So what's gonna happen? Those quote-unquote nerds are also quite much a lot smarter than me at coding and whatnot, but they are... Well, it's all kind of sad, isn't it? AI racing, let's be real. It's very sad. Logan Sargent is a bad... Oh, subscribe. Cars went out on track in Yas Marina, Abu Dhabi, where Hamilton lost the championship in 2021, Verstappen won the championship in 2021, and Latifi, well, he bagged an assist like KDB. Well on you. Good on you. They went out on track under the series name A2RL, and it was an attempt of cars going around a circuit, because most of the time they were looking like Lance Stroll. But the difference is there was no way the drivers could ever get mad, because, well, they're fucking AI. How boring is that? In a nutshell, the cars were super formulas on crack. They were meant to be, well, better, but they really weren't, were they? Teams got 2 months to design their car and code the code for it to drive, and most of the time, well, the code didn't even work. So those 2 months went down the drain. Well, if you thought the Ricciardo's lap times around tracks this year were horrific, then you'd be very much surprised to hear that, well, the AI were even worse, which is surprising because you really can't get any worse than Daniel Ricciardo. 10 minutes per lap around Abu Dhabi? Damn, even Ricciardo could beat that. Yes, they did get faster, better. And at one point, they were 20 seconds off Fiat. But that's Fiat, so I guess they were 30 seconds off an actual Formula 1 driver who is good. From losing his girlfriend, his daughter, his race seat, and pretty much everything that goes with the name Fiat, there's probably a lot of kilograms of tears that he bags up inside of him. So, give or take a couple seconds slower per lap, what? Quali was not shocking at all. I mean, we all expected failure. Just be real. For 1 second, we all expected it to fail. Sorry for another Daniel Ricciardo joke, but kind of the Jekyll and Hyde of, well, Ricciardo's situation at this point. I thought he was going to succeed in glory and get to the Red Bull, but clearly that's not happening, is it? Well, pretty much every car channeled in their inner Logan Sargent, and they were either in the wall or stopped on track. Because, well, they just were. One reason or another, there was always some kind of issue. Not with the driver, but with the code and everything around it, it was all just shambles. Some also channeled their inner Nikita Mazepin, and on one very, very special occasion, we got an inner Lance Stroll that came out. Let's go right up that rear diffuser.
You saying my mistake?
Anyways, with that said, it's time for a highlights reel. And this isn't like a highlight reel of good stuff. It's of the good stuff that happened in that sessions. Now, if you thought that was awful, well, the race was an even bigger shit show. It got underway and cars were well, I don't know what was going on, but they were literally turtles, snails, tractors around the track. Nothing was happening. 4 cars on track racing for the first time, and they were literally miles apart. Some cars coming to a standstill down the straight, and others also coming to a standstill, waving the stale car goodbye and carried on drive. It was all kind of weird. And then there came a point where everyone just bunched up and was just stood on the straight for like what felt like ages. After everyone got bored of looking at cars standing still on the track, the race restarted. The cars had to be taken back to the start. And no surprises, the same exact thing happened. I don't know who in their right mind was watching that race. Race, should I say, because it really wasn't a race now. That's a couple solid hours you'll never get back in your life and could have been spent very differently. Instead, we're watching that. Now, I'm not sure if any of those brilliant minds who came up with this idea of AI racing have ever played any racing game, well, any racing game that has AI in them. I mean, there's Assetto Corsa, there's Assetto Corsa Competizione, however you say that. Literally everything, F1 as well. There's so many racing games and AIs, it doesn't work, it's not good. I mean, let's take F1 23 for example. You hop into a session, you try to race the AIs, and they are literally the most brain-dead creatures of all time. So if you think that, well, strapping an AI to an actual car will be any better than whatever they created in a video game, you'd be goddamn wrong, because it was awful. I mean, the AI can't think when it's meant to push its tires, when it's meant to slow down, not overtake you, when you're on fresh softs and they're on old hards, and they're still going for some kind of send down the Canada back straight. I don't get it. I just don't. And implementing that into IRL is meant to be good. Well, you're high if you think it is, and you're most definitely 100% wrong. And if you think anyone is ever gonna watch AI racing ever again, you're also goddamn wrong. AI also takes the fun out of everything. It's so bland. There's obviously no personality because it's a f***ing AI. No, to be a Formula 1 driver, you somewhat have to be skilled. Or most drivers are skilled, and some, well, they're gifted their way into Formula 1 and are in Formula 1 because their father owns a team. But I guess you can't really help that, can you? There's the risk factor of a driver dying, being in a major crash, and, well, unfortunate things can happen. There's the emotions of the driver winning the Grand Prix, getting a podium for the first time, getting points for the first time, and that sweet, sweet feeling of getting a championship. That's all emotions, and that's why people watch Formula 1, because there's humans, and that's cool to see, right? But stick an AI, and who really cares for a 2.25 million prize pool when there's just cars driving around the track? Like robots, no emotions. What, they win a race, and they can't even get out the car? Who goes to the podium? You watching right now, you have a favorite driver in Formula 1, and if they won in Formula 1, well, there's a probability that you might lose slight interest in Formula 1, like a slight. Some people are genuinely like ride or die with a certain driver, and well, they support the driver. And who are you gonna support in an AI race? Some coder? A car that, well, is just a random ass car? It's not like they're unique, just a souped up Formula E car on crack. Doesn't make any sense. Anything to do with this whole AI thing is pathetic. And in a year's time when they apparently are meant to do the same thing, if I'm watching that, I have permission for anyone to shoot me, because that is going to be the worst thing of all time. How are you going to be breeding drivers from like age 3, their whole life driving? That's impressive. That's skillful. But some like random ass code? I mean, I can get the same thing off ChatGPT, and I guarantee you that it would be better than anything that those cars could have done on track, because that was pathetic, more than the idea of actual AI racing. I mean, AI is meant to be pretty smart now, but the things they were doing on track, well, it's no longer which driver can be the most skillful, which team can be the best aerodynamically. It's more like which nerd can code the best code. And I don't think that's why people watch motorsports. People watch motorsports for close battles between drivers. Fierce emotions, like Verstappen versus Hamilton. That was a totally different breed of racing to Verstappen versus Leclerc. Like, totally different. When emotions are high, mistakes creep in. And with an AI, well, how boring is it racing the AI in a game? Nothing happens, it's always the same. And it's always nice to hop in like some multiplayer session where some guy starting P20 will terrorize the whole lobby, thinking they're George Russell.
I would like to be a terrorist.
And no, I'm not discrediting anyone who has coded any of this or put this plan into fruition, but I'm just saying that I'm not gonna watch it, and it's just one of the most pathetic things ever. I mean, Formula E, an electric racing series, or scooters, like, you know, there's electric scooters, all of that is also quite kind of sad. Because in my eyes, at least, a racing series should be loud, obnoxious, cool as fuck, and not some whimsy-ass, silent mode, just piece of bullshit. Don't lie, team radios are one of the most funniest things that, well, have ever happened in Formula 1. You got the Leclerc I am stupid moment. Leclerc, no! Verstappen screaming at his engineer because his DRS isn't working. Listen, I can go on forever. Or, it's manipulated, man. That was also quite funny. And what is gonna happen when there's AIs in the car? Beep beep, beep beep, beep. There are not many things that I genuinely wish will like fall to the ground, tumble to the ground, the whole idea of it. But this is something that I never want to hear about, see about ever again. It's like the things that I like the most are merging with the things I hate the most. It doesn't make any sense. Like, and if any of you are gonna defend this racing series in the comments and say, hold on, it's actually good. You guys are lifeless. You have nothing going for you. Because this racing series will... I've generally never been more mad about the idea of racing. And it's not even racing, it's just artificial intelligence, IRL. That's like you crashing out of an AI race in F1 and just spectating the rest of the race. You are gonna fall asleep quicker than you can say Formula 1. That's how boring it is, and the fact that they're trying to do it IRL, and there's actual spectators watching all of it, the fact that they're paying like YouTube channels for it to be broadcast, they're spending bank on it, like genuinely bank, and well, you must be some like very, very sad human to even consider liking this. But anyway, with all of that said, let me know your guys' thoughts on all of this down in the comments. And I don't discredit all of this, it's just, it's not for me. I don't want to see some random ass AI things driving cars. That's the most boringest, saddest thing I've ever heard, well, ever. Also, whilst you're down in the comments, subscribe and like, I don't know why you wouldn't. Hope you enjoyed the video and have a safe and fantastic rest of your day. Don't fall under a car and don't die. Peace.